Hello everyone and my grant subscribers. You're welcome to Updates Grant channel, where we give you the latest and updated version of the UAAG disbursement funding. If you're new on my channel, please consider subscribing by clicking the notification bell so that whenever we publish our new content, you'll be kindly notified. Thank you so much for subscribing and God bless.
Thank the Lord once again. Having had some kind of intimidating messages this morning from Reverend Elibo, and the words that came in from Lady Rich that seem so dicey, though trying to encourage the masses. Today is the 11th of October, 2025. So having had those two divergent messages this morning, in a time when a lot of issues are raising some frustrations and uncertainty, a comrade has finally stepped forward to also speak words of assurance, peace and understanding. His message to us did not actually come with fancy promises or some emotional outbursts, but it was calm, it was thoughtful, and also deeply reassuring. He spoke with wisdom of someone who truly understands both the struggles of the people and the realities of the situation. And I think this could bring some sense of stability that a lot of us have been longing for. I'll leave you to pay attention to his words, and we'll see what we can pick from there. Comrade, your time now.
Good morning, sir. For security reason, our Oga, they didn't tell us exactly the time this disbursement will kickstart. But what they have been telling us is that we are close, that there is on one process to another, and the process Anna is a process that cannot be revised back. And the federal government have signed what they need to sign. So I don't know why the money never come out till now. Frankly speaking, I don't know. But however, let's wait over the weekend and let's see whether one of the official representatives will come and voice out why the money didn't come out, or whether the money will come out today. That's all I can say. But as for the disbursement is certain, let us not join ourselves to Brother Thomas and Sister Thomas's to start doubting the process we have started. I told you, what I tell people is what I'm telling you this morning. This money will happen, will be disbursed. But unfortunately, some will not live to enjoy it. Do you know why? Doubt. Fighting against the leader. They don't believe it and they don't want to eat it. So please, let's keep faith alive. Even when it happened at the time they promised us, we didn't get it. The only person I cannot fail is Jehovah, who made the heaven and earth. But on this earth, human factors, limitation can lead to sometimes delay, error in human being. So let's wait and see what Donald or Ngozi will say, or Zinka or Elibo, what next they will say. Because these are the people that say they know the road, they are the ones driving us. Every other person's voice is not heard except their own voice. So please, let's exercise patience. It's not that things are spoiling in the house of God. If this thing happen, by the time it happen, do you know how many churches are to be built in Nigeria? Do you know how many pastors that will come out of greed and covetousness? Can you count them? What will make them to come out of greed? Because what they have is enough. They cannot even finish it before they die. It's a generational battle we are fighting that God will give us a victory. So it's not the time to critique and analyze why is this like, why like this. We should pray and trust God that it will happen. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, comrade. Your name wasn't mentioned, but I think the content was actually understood. We know the direction and the angle you're coming from. Your message was actually simple. The grant will be paid no matter what. Let us remain calm and patient in your words, and I equally believe that this grant will be paid. I've never shifted in purpose. The only thing, when you see me react sometimes, it's about the timeline that people set. I don't know whether you understand what I'm saying. When you see me react most times, or I just come out and vehemently I speak in turn, it's just because of the persistent timeline that fails. Because we've been in this ecosystem for quite some time, and we know how things are run. Is it the money is not there? No, the money is there. Is the funds not available? Sure, they're available. But when you set timeline, you raise the hopes of the masses up. Then when timelines fail, their hope drops again. You understand? So, and that's the problem here. To a lot of people, it's like a betrayal of purpose. Anytime emotions are raised high, and before you know, tension begins to set in again in the community, because people are tired of waiting. They're tired of being told, hold on a little while. They're tired of the promises that seem to hang in the air without substance. But I think the message of this comrade is also coming with something different, some realism and also clarity. He didn't deny the frustrations or pretend that everything was smooth. Instead, he also acknowledged the pain of the masses, the waiting community, but he added a new perspective to this. That is, one, we need to endure the process and also wait for a better input, which I believe that it won't be far-fetched from now. So true patience is what actually distinguishes those who give up easily from those who eventually will testify. He mentioned something that has to do with some people will not live to enjoy it. Why? Because they doubted it, and yet they are still in the ecosystem. Well, that may sound a little bit harsh, but if you look at it critically, you will discover that there are still hypocrisy right in this place. I don't see any reason why somebody who doesn't believe in the grant going to be paid still in the ecosystem. It doesn't make sense to me, because that is hypocrisy in the highest level of it. Yes, you can be tensed up. Everybody can be angry because of the back and forth going on in the ecosystem, but to deny the fact that there's no money to be paid, blah blah blah, and you are here. What are you here for? You're wasting time. You should have used your time for something else. To me, that doesn't sound straightforwardly. If you don't believe categorically that there is no money to be paid, being here, you are the greatest liar as far as I'm concerned, because you're in a scheme you never believed, and you are opting for every available update to come, so that when it comes, you can accentuate your disbelief. That means you don't have a useful time to vent on something else. You can be angry, yes. Everybody has the right to be angry with that. Even Jesus was angry at the point. The Bible said he made whip and entered into the temple and flogged the money changers and those who were doing merchandise in the temple. So even in this planet, he was angry. So you have the right to be angry. I have the same right. But to deny the fact that there is money, and you say there is no money, but you are still here scrambling for every available update, it doesn't make sense to me. So when we get angry, then we come again and balance the equation. And this is where we need to encourage ourselves. This is where we need to encourage ourselves. There are times where encouragement of someone might not be enough until you have encouraged yourself. I'm just being plain and honest with you. There are times that no matter what anybody says, might not avail until you choose to encourage yourself. David was in that stance. He went to fight, and some other men of war went with him to fight at Ziklag to fight the Philistines. Before they came back with victory, but before they came back, the enemy had invaded their coast and taken their wives and children, families. Everybody was taken hostage. And the Bible said they broke down with victory. They broke down and cried. They cried and cried until there was no strength again to cry. If you can still cry, it's because you still have power and strength. There's a level of joy you will have. You won't even smile. You won't even jump up and down. You just wait there because it's too great. The same thing with cry. There's a level of cry you will cry that you won't even shed tears anymore. But there's a pain on the inside. That was the type they went through. They couldn't cry anymore after crying so much. And after a while, all the men that went with him, they came up and they wanted to stone David to death because it was him they followed to fight. So it's like, you led us to where they finally took our family hostage. They took everything. Their wives, their children, their animals, and everything. But the Bible says, this is where it got interesting. The Bible said that David encouraged himself in the Lord. He got up and stopped crying and asked if he could pursue them. And God told him, pursue them. And without doubt and fear, you would recover all. And he went after those hoodlums. And as God would have it, none of them have been tampered with, because he knew that he would restore them back. Oh goodness. He recovered his family, the family of those that went with him, his allies in battle, and everybody was back home. Complete, no single strand of their hair fell to the ground. So, but my emphasis is the encouragement you have to give to yourself. Whatever I'm saying now might not mean anything to somebody else right on this platform. Say, Princess, you started again with your sermon. My friend, get out of here. But I think it would be for somebody. Even if it's one person, I'm fulfilled. You understand? Get to the point where you learn to encourage yourself. Everybody else might not want that encouragement, but you encourage yourself. You might be waiting for someone else to do that, but until you learn to encourage yourself, there are two things you do with pain. It is either you sit down there and cry out, or you get up and do something about your pain. This time, positive. I know that a grant would be paid. And every power holding it at ransom, God will break them. God will break them. So, I believe that things would align according to God's perspective. According to God's perspective. What lies ahead would definitely vindicate every moment of our waiting. Those who hold on in faith, they will soon look back and understand why the process took the time it did. I want to encourage everyone not to allow your minds. Don't allow your minds to be poisoned by fear or any false information. Let us stand together. The fruit is almost ripe. It would be foolish to abandon the tree for now. The fruit is almost ripe. Please, let's stand together in calm assurance. Let us stand as this would also stand for us as a beacon of waiting, that we waited through it. It never consumed us. Don't give up. The grant will come. And when it does, all the waiting is going to make sense. Yes. So let's keep our hands crossed, not in frustration, not in disillusionment, but in faith. Because sometimes the greatest victories, they are not actually seen in the speed of arrival, but in the strength to keep believing until they arrive. So please, stay unperturbed, stay unbothered, stay unworried, and God is going to bring it to pass, that which He promised us. Ensure you do your part while we're in the waiting period. I believe that the better update will still come out to tell us the nitty-gritties and what happens on the inside that we don't know, that Elibo does not know, that Lady Rich might not be aware of. There are higher personalities than even the two of them. Yes, so let's wait for the best, and God will bring everything to actual pass. Thank you very much, and do have a nice day.